a lot of I have had females able to share their story, but I always like it when people can hear from the female perspective, because those are just a lot of things people don't necessarily think about. Like you bring to bear a certain perspective or a certain consideration that a lot of people may not think about, such as the uniqueness of being incarcerated and being a female. Can you speak to maybe some of those unique challenges as a female? I don't know if you have children or if you're a family, but maybe some of the other women that were there with you that might have had children, and just a different type of depression that they may go through being away from their children and what have you.
You know, it's hard. Like, I personally don't have children, but a lot of my friends do. My friend Beth, who gave me my job when I got out, who owns an accounting firm, she would come visit me, and she would bring her son to visit me. He thought I was in doctor school. It was really cute. But it's like, when I went away, he was so little. He was like 4 maybe.
Wow.
And so he was at that age where he just like grew exponentially. So witnessing every time she would bring him back, like several months after, it was like night and day difference. And I'm just like, what is going on? Like, and I can't imagine if this was my child, watching my child growing exponentially and missing out on so much. There was women that I knew that lost their children, like their children passed away while they were in prison.
Goodness.
From health reasons, not affiliated with any sort of like negativity or bad, just they got sick and died. Like, that's devastating for a parent who can't be there to just take care of them. And like, watching these women trying to process those dates while they're still in there, like another anniversary comes around, and how do I cope with this, and how do I deal with this? And then
that's crazy,
you know, and seeing it on the outside too after the fact, it's like they finally are able to process it in a new light. That makes a huge difference.
What type of, to your knowledge, did the Bureau of Prisons offer any services to help mothers out? Do you feel that the Bureau of Prisons made it that they had any type of I guess the correct word, I'm searching for the word, but anything that would be helpful to someone, a parent that has a child, as far as transportation, as far as making it easier to stay connected to their children when the parents are incarcerated? In your case, it would be mothers.
So every once in a while, they did have a program that would, around the holidays, organize a giant bus to pick people up and transport them to Dublin. But it wasn't through the BOP or the DOJ. It was an outside organization, charity organization, that would raise money and raise funds in order to be able to bring the family members.
So that's not the Bureau of Prisons, right? So your answer basically is the Bureau of Prisons, no, they didn't do anything.
That's a big fat no.
Yeah.
They're supposed to, when sentencing, send people to the prisons that are closest to their home.
That's right.
But that's a big problem with Dublin being closed. Dublin was the only women's federal prison in the West Coast.
Wow.
So there's no women's prisons. I think the closest one is Minnesota or Illinois.
Oh my God.
Well, Texas.
So if there's no room in Dublin and you happen to be a woman that catches a federal charge, chances are, if you can't go to Dublin, you're going to be, if you live in California, you're going to be more than the stated 500 miles within your family. You're going to be farther than that.
Way further. And the BOP does not reimburse for flying and traveling fees.
So it sounds like a lot of these women just necessarily they're too far for their children to be able to come see them. Either they might not have the funds or the needs to be able to see their children.
Absolutely. No, and it's devastating because some of these children have ended up with family members and the family members aren't able to just pick up and move to a new city or a new state in order to be able to visit mom in a new prison. So, and I had seen that where some people, their spouses or their family members moved from out of state to come closer to Dublin, so that way they were able to come visit as much as possible.
Yeah, that's horrible to think about, and hearing it from you, it hits home, and it's very bothersome, because I know about sort of the Bureau of Prisons and the Department of Justice. They claim that they have these aims and goals of incarceration and sentencing. One of them is rehabilitation. We know that's nonsense. Another one is that they want to keep family ties strong. But based on what you're saying,
which ties in with the rehabilitation thing, because you need a strong community and you need a strong support system in order to be able to not fall back.
Right. Once again, it's in conflict. And the practice of the BOP and the Department of Justice seems to be in conflict with their stated goals and their stated aims. And based on my experience, and it sounds like based on your experience, you don't see any evidence that the BOP cares or tries to keep the family ties strong.
No, not at all. I mean, they did not. They wanted to send me back to St. Louis, where my case was originally out of. I did not have any family in St. Louis. I had some friends through my ex who I went to prison for, essentially. I didn't have anybody out there. And so they were trying to send me to Missouri when I got out to go to a halfway house. So I was scrambling on the inside, trying to find a friend or a loose family member, which my god sister ended up becoming my house that was approved by probation in order for me to be able to get out and be released back to California. And so I could get everything transferred, because otherwise I was going back to a place that I didn't know.